Yes, it's me, your favorite savior of reality. And I'm back again to go over a new trailer that was dropped earlier today that is just so crazy and just leaves me wondering what the hell is going on. That's right, we are going to talk about the Thor Love and Thunder trailer. Now, what we have to know about this is that one sequel to Thor Ragnarok and is directed by Taika Waititi. So it's clearly going to be really weird and also going to feel like an awesome 80s album rock cover again. And if you don't believe me, just look at the title and listen to the song in this trailer, which, by the way, it's Guns N' Roses' Sweet Old Child. Holy crap, what a good choice for a movie trailer. But I would have liked Derek's version from Step Brothers, aka the original D-Man, but there's a debate, you know. Now, let's break down this trailer, and basically a breakdown is I'm going to go over every scene that seems important to this trailer, and I will basically go over what's in it and what might be happening. So the first shot that we see is young Thor running through the woods. And then the next shot we see is, oh dear God, they finally did it. They finally gave Thor the classic suit. The stupid helmet with the stupid wings, the big red cape, the weird tank top, like, shirt with circles and a weird sash and the bright blue pants and the dumb yellow boots. It looks amazing! The next shot we see is basically that the armor that we're used to seeing him in. Most likely, I'm going to guess the one from basically all the movies that he's been in. And then the next shot, this is weird, is Thor walking through, I'm going to say, a pit of fire. Now, my theory is this could either be a dream sequence or a hallucination or a vision that he is seeing, because throughout these movies, Thor is apparently obsessed with I guess, knowing about the future. And during that shot of Thor walking through fire, he says, "These hands were once used for battle, but now they are makers of peace," during this weird shot of him burying Stormbreaker and going to sit up on top of a cliff. Now, either Thor is taking influence from Thanos, or he's going to see the future. Now, this trailer goes into dialogue of him basically saying that he has no clear path. He's going to try and figure out who he is, and his superhuman days are over. I think Thor, he's going to try and figure out what his path is, and that he's not going to be a superhero anymore. I think he just wants to be like one of the Guardians. He just wants to be a pirate or something. And we kind of get a scene like that later. But then we get a close-up of Thor's face, and his eyes open, and they're both blue. Now, not only does that match the song, but if we remember, Thor's one eye was taken out by Hela in Ragnarok and was restored by Rocket's butt eye, and was put into his eye, and he didn't even clean it. What the hell? How's he not a pink eye by that? But now they're all blue. Now, either this is Thor having or gaining new power, or he ditched that eye and somehow grew one. And if he did, man, Deathstroke is gonna be pissed. Moving on. And then as that guitar sting starts going, we see Thor working out and kind of looking like Forrest Gump if he was an Asgardian, even with the hat and the beard. And I love that he's using chains from a dead big giant skull. I'm hoping that's not one of the elves that Eitri knew, because that would be really upsetting. And then we see Thor on a battlefield with the Guardians, and he basically I think is taking his robe off. And I guess that's him, revealing to the enemies, I am Thor! You shall, feel my might, or something. And Star-Lord's just clearly annoyed. And if you look closely, when Thor throws the robe, Rocket and Groot are right there, and they're probably just like, what the fuck is he doing? And then this next clip, we see Thor being told by Star-Lord to, I'm guessing, probably stay back, because apparently Thor doesn't seem to be... Either Thor doesn't want to fight, because he's wearing two different sets of clothes, or he wants to help, but he'll cause too much damage, and Star-Lord's just like, why don't you stay back a little bit, and we'll call you, because you're kind of like our big gun or something. And then we see the Guardians fly off into a jump while leaving Thor on Sakaar. Now, I don't think the Guardians are trying to get rid of him, because if you have an Asgardian on your team, you don't get rid of that. You keep him. You keep him. I think Thor decides to leave the Guardians for a little bit to try and figure out who he is. That way he won't get in their way. And I doubt that Thor is going to be like, oh, I'm always ready for a battle. No, he's just trying to figure himself out. We then get a shot of New Asgard with, which was revealed in a Lego set, a boat with flying goats on it. Basically Santa's sleigh, but upgraded and not red. And then we see, this is something we've never seen before in the MCU. Now we're getting, let's bring a little refresh. We're getting gods now in the MCU with Moon Knight, but now we're going to see, which I hope this could probably be, is God, I'm gonna get this wrong, Mount Olympus, which is where basically all the Greek gods hang out. And if we're getting gods in the MCU, that's hinting towards the main bad guy of this. Then in the next clip, we see Thor, Pirates of the Caribbean it, basically. Like, I think this might be a dance number by the way that he's moving. And then he kisses this blue-haired girl, which she's probably someone who decided to follow him, or she's a fellow mate. And then we see him going towards a planet and using Stormbreaker as a guide since it can summon the Bifrost. To me, that's pretty cool, because you think about it, we have Thor on a floating boat with goats on it, using Stormbreaker as a guide through the universe to go to Mount Olympus. That just sounds crazy, and it probably will look amazing. In our next clip, we see, I'm guessing Mount Olympus, and we see a bunch of lightning bolts go through the air as one of them is catched by Zeus! And he will probably hurl his mighty lightning bolt and strike it down. Which, I'm guessing, since of the casting list, we will have Russell Crowe playing Zeus. Okay. I got nothing against Russell Crowe, but could probably get someone more dynamic, I guess. But if Zeus exists, that means Hercules exists, which will probably hint towards Hercules, the character, coming into the MCU someday. And if you're wondering, yes, Hercules is an actual Marvel character in the Marvel comics, and I'm all for it. Just give us a hint. Just give us a tease. I don't care. You can hold up the Hercules DVD. I do not care. In our next clip, we see something very disturbing that is pulled literally directly from the comics, like it's a copy and paste, but only given 3-dimension. Is a giant animal. I do not know the name of it, but it's important because it is in the story that this is kind of based off of. And this was clearly slayed by Gore the God Butcher. Now, if you don't know who Gore the God Butcher is, don't feel alone. I didn't know who he was either. He's basically a god killer. He has a blade called the Ebony Blade or a Dark Blade or whatever blade. There's like 3 of these things, and they're all used by this guy named Noel, who controls the symbiotes or is the creator of symbiotes. And this thing is passed down from person to person, and it's just crazy. It is a weird sword. I just call it the Ebony Blade because it makes sense, and that's who I know it by. And Gore most likely slayed this thing and killed it, and this will probably get Thor's attention. I don't know how, but probably will be. Our next clip is showing is hands down probably my most favorite part of this trailer. Valkyrie at a Senate hearing for New Asgard. Not only that, but if you look closely, our boy Meek is rocking some drip. Jeez. Man, like, first he goes from cutting up people to cutting up lawsuits. What the hell? I have a perfect idea for a spinoff. Matt Murdock and Meek, attorneys at law, with Nelson on the other side. Now, this will probably just be Valkyrie being like, I'm tired of being king. She's probably dealing with the aftermath, because if you remember in Endgame, Thor just basically said, yeah, you're king now, go ahead. Which is something not to do if you don't know what the consequences will be following. But, you know, she said she would make some big changes to this place, so I guess these are the consequences you have to follow. Now, we hear a bit of dialogue from our man who ruined basically the entire universe, Star-Lord. Basically saying, you want to know what I do when I'm down? I take a look into the eyes of all the people who I love. And we see him, I guess, giving Thor a pep talk, and he looks at the Guardians, but then Thor just leans in like a third wheel, and that is the funniest thing ever. Brilliant. Brilliant. And I guess that's where they're basically parting ways with Thor for the movie until they come back, because if we look closely in a couple scenes later, we see Thor is walking into Mount Olympus with Korg and another red clothed person, but this might not be Star-Lord. It might be... well, we'll get to them later. After an awesome title card reveal, we see Thor on a battlefield, which most likely looks like it's on Earth, because we see Mjolnir fly through the air and clearly tattered, because last time we saw it, it was broken into pieces like little bits of glass. Caught by someone, revealing Jane Foster as the mighty Thor. Now, what does this mean? How is Mjolnir back? And how does she have the might to lift the hammer? Well, I don't have the answers yet, but wait for my breakdown. Now, my entire thought of this movie is this is going to be awesome. This will be probably one of the most funniest and most enjoyable Marvel movies we'll get to watch for a while, because it kind of will feel like a break from all this multiverse stuff and all of yelling that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are back in the MCU. And to me, I always thought, like, yeah, Thor's like that middle ground, like that movie that you can watch while all this other crazy stuff is going on, and you just have a fun time. Now, do I think this movie will be good? Of course, it's a Marvel movie. It's Taika Waititi. Of course it's going to be good. Do I think that having Natalie Portman back as Jane Foster is a good idea? No. Because if we remember the last two Thor movies, she was not the best part in those movies. And then Thor Ragnarok comes around, and we get the best one with zero Portman, only a mention of her just getting sideshowed. Just brilliant. Like, hey, weren't you dating Jane? Nope. God, just perfect. Perfect writing and perfect execution. It's basically what The Rise of Skywalker explaining how Palpatine Returned wanted to be. Now, my theory of what this movie will be is coming out tomorrow. But yeah, that's my breakdown for the trailer. And thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.